Well, good afternoon everyone, and welcome to the beautiful sunny shores of Los Cristianos here in Tenerife. If you're new to the channel, I am Andrew. I do live here permanently, and I like to try and bring these little news updates, news recaps every single week just to keep everyone in the loop. Whether you're on the way over soon or in a few months, it keeps you in touch with the island and some of the other islands as well. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm going to run through all of the latest news that I've picked out and some of my personal opinions from living here, what I've seen out and about this week. So I'm going to start off with the weather for the next week or so. So, a few people did ask me, can you start mentioning the weather, do a bit of a weather segment? It does change very quickly, the weather. We are in a bit of a microclimate here in Tenerife. It can change quite quickly. However, for the foreseeable on my weather app here, especially for here in Arona, Los Cristianos, it's a steady 23, 21, 22 degrees, full sunshine and blue skies for the next 10 days on here. So if you're on your way over, next 10 days are going to look very much like this. Blue skies, sunshine, very high numbers on the UV index, so do make sure. They recommend a minimum of factor 30 at the moment. I personally wear factor 50. Remember, factors don't determine how tanned you're going to get. You know, I'm not wearing 50 because I won't catch a tan. That's not how it works. It's just to do with the protection of your skin. You're going to catch a tan even with factor 50 on. It's just going to give your skin a bit more protection. The UV rays are extremely strong here in the summer. You will burn very quickly and very easily. Don't think that putting factor 30 or 50 on, you're not going to catch a tan, because it is incorrect. It is what they recommend that you put on. I personally recommend 50 and do reapply throughout the day. It's extremely strong out here. I can feel my neck already. We're 2 minutes in and it's already burning hot on my neck, and I've got sun cream on as well. So, some of the other articles that I have picked out to read out to you and also mention, these will be linked in the description if you want to have a little look. The first thing is that the EU delays the launch of the ETIAS until November 2023. The European Union are postponing the launch of the European Travel Information and Authorization System for another 6 months until November 2023. The travel authorization had been scheduled to become fully operational in May, but without any warning, the EU Commission has updated the date to November instead. So that is to do with that little application that you'll have to make to travel around Europe. That is now delayed for 6 months, so you don't have to worry about that for another 6 months. And then hopefully we'll get a bit more information as to regards what exactly we'll need. The ETIAS is a travel authorization that over 1.4 billion travellers from over 60 countries, including Americans, Britons, Albanians, Canadians and more, will have to obtain before their trip to the EU and Schengen area countries. Travellers from these countries can currently travel to the EU visa-free, as there is a visa-free arrangement in place with the EU. So we haven't got to worry about that for a little while. They are, as of now, it's November 2023 that will kick in, and you'll have to apply for a little visa to come over to Tenerife, Canary Islands from the UK if you're British. But for now, we've not got to worry about it. They've delayed it, which is good. The next little thing that people have been messaging me about, have you seen all this news about the electricity thing the government have announced in Spain? You've got to turn off your lights and air conditioning, things like that. What I'm going to say is it does not apply to the Canary Islands. Spain did implement some new rules as regards to electricity usage over in mainland Spain, but it does not apply here. The government energy saving plan limits air conditioning to 27 degrees in hotels and airports. All obliged premises will need an official air conditioning certificate before the end of the year. Stores will have to turn off lights for shop windows at 10 PM, and as will lit up billboards and posters as well. It's all to do with energy saving, but it does not apply over here. So that's quite a good thing, because we do get extremely high temperatures more year round than Spain does. Mainland Spain, very hot in the summer. They do seem to get a little bit hotter than us in the summer, but overall throughout the year, on average, we are a lot hotter than them, especially in the winter. We are still high temperatures, whereas they do drop right down. So thankfully it doesn't apply to us for anyone who was messaging me and asking about that. But if you are off to mainland Spain in the near future, you might notice that your hotel is a little bit warmer than usual, not quite as ice cold when you walk inside it. It is all to do with energy saving. Next one is the Brits warned about flight disruptions when travelling to Spain. The UK's Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Office, the FCDO, has issued a new warning for Brits planning to travel to Spain, advising that anyone travelling to the mainland or islands should consult airlines because of flight disruptions. This is all to do with the strikes that have gone on. Basically, they're just advising you to keep an eye on your flight, keep in touch, check your emails in case you've got any schedule changes, any flight cancellations. As I've mentioned in previous updates, Canary Islands hasn't really been affected by these strikes. It is more mainland flights that have been affected. But you never know, they could change a few things that result in changes over here in the Canary Islands. But for now, we are pretty good over here. It is mainly mainland Spain that it's been affected with. I have travelled from Tenerife to Liverpool last week and then back from Manchester to Tenerife this week as well. I've vlogged both journeys. One of them is already up, one of them is due to go up in the next couple of days. I will show you everything. I showed my journey back from Tenerife, a few tips over there. Some people did miss their flight despite being in the airport. They missed their flight due to not getting to the gate quick enough. And that was a flight with Ryanair, and then I flew back with Manchester with EasyJet, so I've shown all of that journey as well. A few little tips along the way. Both airports, both ends were extremely busy is what I would say, but there's a few little hints and tips in there if you want to check those videos out. They are on the channel. Next thing to mention is in regards to going out. When you're going out to all these restaurants, having a nice meal, you see most places do advertise their menu boards outside with the prices on. A lot of them do special offers, special deals. It has now come about, this has been in place for a while, but it's been sort of resurfaced. A lot of people discussing it, and that is that IDGIC tax is not included, is not legal on menus according to the OCU. So when these menus have a price, so say for example a steak for $19.99, and then at the bottom of the menu it says IDGIC not included, they are saying here that that is technically not legal. They have to include the IDGIC in the price. At the moment, IDGIC sales tax is 7%. It does vary slightly by industry, but that should be included in the price. What they're saying here is if they exclude it and then add it onto your bill at the end, technically that's not legal. Sometimes after enjoying a good meal or night out, a bad taste is left in your mouth when the bill arrives because the bar or restaurant includes supplements that you were not expecting. For this reason, the biggest consumer protection organisation in Spain, the OCU, have issued guidelines to what they can charge and what they cannot. I'll briefly run through what they can and can't do, just the main bits here. A few things that you can not be charged for in bars and restaurants are the following. IDGIC separately. The IDGIC in the Canary Islands or the IVA in mainland Spain should not be charged separately according to the national legislation put in place. IDGIC not included is not allowed even if they put it on the menu. Therefore, the prices that are reflected in the menu must include the corresponding IDGIC or VAT. So having it at the bottom of the menu, technically not allowed. How that is enforced, etc., I don't know, but it's just something to keep an eye out for. Some restaurants out here in Tenerife in particular that I've seen personally do have it on the bottom, IDGIC not included, and then you know it's going to be added on at the end, but some people don't expect it and they are a bit, you know, disgruntled by it. Technically not allowed. The cutlery, although in some countries it is commonplace to charge extra for the cutlery, in Spain it is not legal. This must be included in the price. I've never seen anyone try and charge for cutlery, but I suppose it does go on in a few places. Charging a supplement for a reservation in bars and restaurants is not permitted to charge more for a reservation, although what is allowed, especially when there are large groups or during festive periods such as Christmas, is to ask for an amount as a reservation which must be later deducted from the bill. So we see that in various clubs over here. Papagayo, for example, got nothing against them, very popular. They have a system where it's, say for example, €40 to get your table or your sunbed or however you want to do it. €40, but that €40 is put towards your drinks bill, food bill. So basically you're paying €40 up front, but you've then got €40 worth of food and drinks behind the bar that comes off your bill, or the €40 is just deducted from your bill at the end of what you've had. So they can't, for example, say, okay, you want that table, it's €20 for that seat, and just keep your €20. It's got to be deducted at the end. Charging a supplement for a terrace or table. Due to the fact that many want to dine outdoors when on holiday, some venues charge extra for a terrace table. However, they are allowed to do this, but it must be informed beforehand, and the charge must be on their official stamped price list from the town hall. Charging for tap water. Bars and restaurants are obliged to serve free tap water in Spain and the Canary Islands. Consumers can drink tap water for free in these businesses according to the law. However, I would advise against that. The tap water in most places, in Tenerife here in particular, I'm not too sure about the other islands, I think most of the other islands are the same. It's not really safe to drink. In Adeje it's safe to drink, but here in Los Cristianos, where I live, I cannot drink the tap water. I wouldn't recommend it. It will upset your stomach. But if you do want tap water, they're not allowed to charge for it. I thought that was quite interesting. I'm sure a lot of you didn't know about those various little different rules to keep an eye out for. Again, how they would be enforced or how it would come about if you did complain about it, I'm not too sure. But it's just for your information and something for you to keep an eye out for. Next one is that a tourist has suitcases robbed outside a hotel as she popped into reception. The National Police have arrested a 28-year-old man just moments after he had committed a robbery at the entrance of the hotel Mas Palomas in Gran Canaria. The victim, who was checking out of the hotel, left her belongings outside momentarily to go into reception, and in less than 5 minutes the man had rifled through them and stole 3 laptops, a digital tablet and a mobile phone and some cash. They did catch him eventually. They noticed a man acting suspiciously and managed to catch him. But again, it's a warning. Don't leave your stuff around. They are right on it. As I said in many updates, these people are watching what you're doing. They're stood outside receptions. They're stood in car parks. They're waiting for you to leave something in display. They're waiting for you to leave your bag unattended. Stay aware at all times. Keep your stuff with you. I certainly wouldn't leave anything lying around, because anyone can be watching, and they're straight in. They're very quick, very professional. Thankfully this guy was caught, but it is just another reminder that these little things are going on, and you're always being watched by someone. Even if it's at the beach, wherever you are, there is always someone, unfortunately, watching, hoping to take advantage. Coming up next, we've got warning about an increase of needle spiking attacks on women in nightclubs. This is not a very pleasant article. The term spiking is officially known as chemical submission and refers to a substance which affects being administered to a person without their consent or knowledge. So this has been on a little bit of an increase. There's been a few people getting spiked in nightclubs, bars, with needles. They don't know whether or what has been injected. There's not been, thankfully, any disasters regarding it, but it is on the increase here. The incidence of this type of crime, for which the motive is normally sexual, increased from 14% to 35% in 2021 and has become even worse in recent months, with more cases of needle spiking, a technique where a substance is injected into the victim. A lot of the time you're drunk, you don't even feel it. So again, guys, if you're going out, be careful, whether you're a male or a female. Be careful if you're going to the likes of Veronica's here in Tenerife, you're going to the Jumbo Centre in Gran Canaria, wherever you're going. Be careful, be aware, look after yourselves. Don't get involved with any trouble. If you see trouble going on, just walk away. Don't try and, have issues with bouncers and things. It does turn quite nasty quite quickly. Just look after yourselves. Keep an eye on your friends as well. Don't let your friends just go off on their own. Keep an eye on them. There's pickpockets out and about. There's all kinds going on, so do be very careful regarding that. The first cases in Spain did come to light during the San Fermin celebrations in July. 4 women went to A&E because they were dizzy or had lost consciousness after feeling something sharp jab them in the arm when they were among a crowd. So not a very nice, pleasant story. Do be careful out there, look after yourselves, and hopefully this can be reduced. I've not heard too much. I've not heard of it going on. It does mention here that it is happening all over the country: Madrid, Canary Islands, Balearic Islands and Andalusia in the Costa del Sol. Personally, I've not heard of anything going on here, but they have included in the Canary Islands, so be careful when you're out and about. It's very easy to get caught up in some certain issues. The Cabildo has reopened the access to the mountains as the heat alert declines. they have now controlled the forest fires, thankfully, and the areas that they did close off have now reopened, so we are back good for that. Other little bits of news from here in Los Cristianos in Tenerife. They have now reopened the new toilets, great for the disabled. Los Cristianos Beach now has 2 adapted toilets in addition to the one in Playa Honda. Some nice images here I'll include on the screen. The Arona City Council has completed the refurbishment work on a complete toilet for Los Cristianos Beach with a bathroom for women, men and people with reduced mobility, so they made it a lot more wheelchair accessible. That is in addition to the new sheltered canopy that they've added in there as well. So they have added a shaded area there with 60 square metres covered in a nice bit of shade. You've got a nice walk down promenade there as well. So fantastic if you are reduced mobility or even just going to use Los Cristianos Beach. We've got lovely new toilets there, because the ones that we're in were not good enough, I must say. Much better and a much more improved facility there for everyone to use. That is going to be it from me in terms of those travel vlogs. Make sure you go and check them out. You're going to get to see exactly what it was like flying into Tenerife from Manchester, what Manchester Airport was like, what my experience with EasyJet was like as well. That will be coming up, I think tomorrow. That will be tomorrow's vlog, so keep an eye out on the channel. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. It's completely free to subscribe. You'll get notified when I upload new videos, little news updates like this, excursions, various things. So do make sure you hit the subscribe button. Please do give it a thumbs up as well. If I've missed anything important, or you've got any important information about any of the articles we've spoken about, do comment below. If you've got any tips regarding travel or anything that we've mentioned, make sure you do comment. We do read them all. Thank you very much for watching. Travel safe, have an amazing time. You can see I'm absolutely dripping here. It is very hot out here. If that's what you're on the way for, you've got 10 days straight of this lovely weather according to the app. Thank you very much for watching. Stride on and have an amazing holiday. So as I've just parked from doing the news update, I've just seen the Suites at Beverly Hills, a big fire in the penthouse there. I did just call the fire brigade and they are on the way. They have extinguished most of it, but it seems to be electrical, lots of sparks going on. But it looks like everyone's okay anyway, but scary really. It was roaring when I pulled up. But thankfully fire engines are on the way. I think I can hear the fire engine now on the way. But this credit to this guy here, he was right in there putting it out with the fire extinguisher. Hopefully everyone okay. No police and everything in attendance now, and an ambulance, but I've not seen anyone injured. I think it's just a precaution, so all good. And still just waiting on the fire brigade, but the fire is out. So a big shout out to the maintenance guys, it looked like, at the Suites at Beverly Hills there. They did act very fast with the extinguishers. And it looks like everything is all a-okay apart from the apartment itself.